Hello, John Allan, OBE. Welcome to the University of the West of England here in Bristol. This evening you're going to be talking to the audience in the Distinguished Address series about the future and change. I'd like to just root you in this very moment, first of all, along with a long list of jobs and roles you have. One is, well, all three of your current major roles are pertinent, but one is particularly pertinent, President of the CBI. So how are you feeling 24 hours on the Prime Minister's first attempt to get her deal through Parliament?
Well, I think as a nation we've got a huge challenge, but also a huge opportunity. And you know what we have been urging on government for some time now, and particularly since the result, is to say, look, you know, let's make a reality out of going out, consulting with others, seeking ideas, trying to find a solution that will get us out of this very difficult situation we've got ourselves into, where we are only 70 days away from crashing out of the EU without a solution, without a deal, which I think most business people believe will be very, very seriously damaging.
So you are chairman of Tesco plc and indeed Barratt Developments plc, now two huge sectors that will be affected by Brexit. How much of your time at the moment are you spent talking about and being engaged in discussions with Brexit and not actually on the day job?
Well, I think it's a distraction for everyone, isn't it? I mean, and perhaps more for some than others. I think large companies, in a sense, have it easier because they have got the management resources to be able to seriously do the planning and to take the action that is necessary to prepare for a no-deal Brexit. I think it's still going to be expensive, damaging, detrimental to the future in terms of jobs, but at least big companies, I think, are capable of handling it. I worry far more about small companies that are sitting there wondering what the heck they should actually do and possibly not having the resources to do it. Even if they knew what they needed to do, they haven't got the resources to do it. So I think it's, you know, I'm fortunate to be chair of two large companies with very, very accomplished management teams, and you know, I help them where I can, but actually pretty much they get on with it.
So you're going to be talking about the future and Brexit this evening. Of course, the future is really important for our students. So what would you say to people just about to graduate this year or coming through a university degree about the world of work in the future? Because retail and construction will be very different.
Yeah, I think they'll both have great opportunities, and I think there'll be other opportunities too. I think, you know, people need to start thinking about what they're going to do. They don't necessarily anymore have to make a career choice for life. I think one of the ways in which, you know, society's changed, careers have changed, is that people have a chance to try a number of things. But I think you're going to do much better if you've got some clues about what you want to do before you graduate, or possibly even before you start your course. I've got a 15-year-old granddaughter, and she's already worked out what she wants to do and what she needs to do to get there and so on. And I wish everyone was and this is all her own doing, I wish everyone was as prepared as she is. But I think, you know, we're going to live in a different world, but there are going to be opportunities in that world. You know, it's not a black future. I think it's a sort of challenging, changing future where a lot of people will continue to be able to do very well.
So you've worked in a lot of different organisations and companies in your career. You've clearly liked change and new environments. Do you think that kind of adaptability and resilience is going to be an even more core skill for young people? So if you're saying you're going to have what's called a portfolio career, you're going to change things, what sort of skills do you think you need as a young person now to see you through? What did you have when you left university? Because clearly you're able to do that.
Well, gosh, I wish I could remember. It was a very long time ago, and I'm probably not the best judge of what I was good at. But I think things that will matter for the future are, certainly I think people are going to have a degree of comfort with technology. That doesn't mean they're going to have to be expert, but I think technology is going to pervade almost everything we do. I think people are actually it's going to continue to be very important for people to have the sort of interpersonal skills that enable them to work with people, that enable them to bring groups together to produce a result. I mean, the government could do with a bit of that at the moment. The leadership skills that are needed to get people to sort of follow them. And I think drive and determination, I don't think that's changed at all. You know, when I looked to recruit, when I was doing quite a lot of graduate recruitment, I tended to recruit more on motivation than academic achievement, because I thought, you know, pretty much everyone who comes out of university has got a decent level of intellectual capability. You know, they're bright enough to do what's needed. What I think separates the really successful people often from the less successful people is those people who've got a burning desire to make things happen, to change, to achieve for themselves. And I'm sure this and every other institution is continuing to produce loads of young people who have those qualities.
Because it is, and as you will be saying, and as you said already, a very uncertain world. What does your agenda look like for the next 68 days or whatever it is until Article 50 is triggered? What role will the CBI be playing in the next couple of months?
First of all, we are continuing to work with other businesses, business organisations, to just make sure that the government as a whole is aware of how serious the downside would be of just crashing out of the EU on March the 29th. It's going to put at risk, it's already putting at risk investment, jobs are being transferred out of the UK, because new investments are not being made, new jobs are not being created. Businesses are spending hundreds of millions of pounds preparing for something that hopefully will never happen, and of course the government are doing the same. So I think, first of all, trying to do everything we can to raise the levels of consciousness of how serious this is, and to get government to take the action it could take and should take to avert that. Secondly, I think to encourage our parliamentary leaders, it's not our job to devise a political solution, but I think it is our job to say to the politicians, for heaven's sake, get together, sink your differences, come up with a solution together that is capable of commanding majority in the House of Commons. And I think that's thoroughly, if people put aside their preconceptions, rub out their red lines, abandon thoughts of we would never under any circumstances do this, but approach it in an open-minded way and a willingness to work together, I'm pretty sure a solution can be found quite quickly. So we'll be encouraging people to do that, and and I think so will many of the businesses, large and small, who are our members, because they're all feeling the impact of Brexit already, even before it started.
Yeah, we live in interesting times, do we not? John Allan, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.